Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for always being here. So in my last tutorial I showed you how to make this abaya cowl dress. It's a very beautiful kaftan and it's very free and at the same time elegant as well. I really enjoyed making this tutorial, and if you like it, check the link in my description box below. So today I'm going to show you how to make this yoke kaftan butterfly dress. It's a very trendy and beautiful one indeed, and this is a close look of it from the front and back, and this is a full look of it. This is very beautiful and elegant, and if you want to know how to make this beautiful yoke kaftan, make sure you watch till the end. Let's get going. So here you're going to start off by folding your fabric and then making out the length. You're going to add 1 inch to the full length of your kaftan and a hemming allowance as well. So here you're going to fold based on the inches of your shoulder measurement and the length of sleeve you desire. So after you must have made these references, we're going to go over to marking our measurements. So the first thing you need to do is to measure in your shoulder measurement from the center front for wherever your shoulder is. Then you also mark out the sleeve length also. So here I've marked out my shoulder measurement right here, and I'm going to mark out the neckline, and I'm going to mark 4 inches by 3 inches like so. So right here I've marked out my neck measurement, and I've also curved it out as well. And from this shoulder measurement I'm going to mark out the full length, which is where my folding ends, and I'm going to measure down 3 inches from there. Now that I'm done measuring down the 3 inches, I'm going to connect 1/2 inch from the neckline down to that 3 inches. So here I've done that already, as you can see right here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now, as you can see, is to mark out 2.5 inches from the shoulder measurement, and that I've done right here. And the next thing I'm going to do is to measure down from this point down 6 inches right here, and I'm going to mark this out depending on how low you want your yoke to be. If you want a lower yoke, you can as well go downwards, but you have to bear in mind that your boss will be showing if you do that. So you're just going to curve this out like so, and once you're done curving it out, you're done marking your yoke. So the next thing you're going to do now is to start off with cutting out the neckline. And after cutting out your neckline, you're going to cut out the shoulder line, leaving 1/2 inch above the 3 inches you marked down like so. So you're just going to cut this out. After cutting out the shoulder line, the slant shoulder line, you're going to cut out the sides by cutting straight out down to the full length. After you must have done that, the next thing to do now is to cut out this yoke line. After cutting out your yoke line, as you can see, I've cut this out already, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to keep this aside and use this part to cut out exactly this for the back piece. So right here I've cut this out, and I'm going to notch this middle part because it's going to help me while fixing back my yoke. So right here I've placed my yoke on my lace fabric, and I'm just going to cut this out. But first of all, I'm going to extend 1 inch right here because this is not going to sit perfectly well if you use the same measurements because it's a circle. Okay, so you're just going to extend it by 1 inch right here so that it balances well when you want to fix it back to your pieces. So this is for the front piece, and for the back piece right here I'm just going to do the same, but the only adjustment is that I'm just going to make the neck a little bit higher than the front piece. So I'm just going to mark this like so and cut it out. And when I'm done cutting it out, I just cut the interface like taping. I'm going to tape the neckline. This is for the front and this is for the back piece. So you're simply going to place your taping fabric on your yoke, right side to each other, and sew along the neckline. And later on you're going to turn it in and sew as well. And I'm done doing that to both the front and back, and I'm going to stitch it by the shoulder line. And when I'm done stitching it and turn it inside out, it should look something like this. And here is the front piece of my fabric. I've put it right side to each other, and what I'm just going to do here is to sew the shoulder lines together on both sides. And when I'm done sewing the shoulder line, it is time to sew on the yoke. So what you're simply going to do is to place the yoke right where it's supposed to be, and you're going to pin it round for better and easier work before sewing it in so that it appears smoothly like this. So when you're done doing this, the next thing you're going to do is to sew the side seam. And to do that, I've turned this kaftan to the right side of it, and I've marked out the center front of my kaftan, and I've also marked in my reference lines for the shaping. And I started off with the under bust line. The waistline, I lowered it to 18 inches for a more loose fitting since I'm not going to be using a zipper. So here I've marked the hip line as well, and also marked the knee line, and this is just for reference purpose because I'm not going to make any markings on it. And then the full length of my kaftan. So here I'm just going to start off with installing my measurements. So I started off by marking in my bust line measurements and every measurement, and I added in ½ inch to every part of my measurements right here. And from this hip area, I extended the line down to the ankle line, leaving only 3 inches outward. So here I'm just going to shape this like an A-line dress downwards, and when I'm done doing that, I'm going to sew along these lines to both sides of my kaftan. And to give it a more finished look, what I did is to curve the tip of it, because when you wear it, because it's square, this area will be mopping the floor. So to avoid that, you're going to mark 3 inches above like so, and you're going to shape it up to the front like so. So when I'm done doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to weave or use an interlock machine to finish up the tip of my kaftan. Next, we are going to work on the tie for the neckline. So here I've marked the width at 3 inches. You can mark any desired length you wish, and I curved them out like so. So you're just going to sew along this part down to this area. By the way, this tie is about 23 inches each, so you mark yours as well. So here I'm just going to put both ties together like so. As I've turned it inside out after sewing, I'm just going to put it together like so, and I'm going to sew it together. It mustn't be in two, it's just that my fabric wasn't enough to cut it in one piece. So here I'm just going to slash off this excess fabric here, and the next thing I'm going to do is to place it on the neckline like so. I've marked the midpoint of the neckline here, and what I'm going to simply do right here is to place my tie from this point that I've sewn it together, and I'll place the wrong side to right side of my fabric, and I'm going to sew it in along the neckline, making sure that all align to centers of each other so that the tie stays at the center part of your kaftan. And after stitching this is how it should look on a closed look. And now that I'm done tying this out, I'm done sewing my kaftan. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share my videos also, and don't forget to join us on Facebook on Sewing Bee Niger. Don't forget to leave your comment on the comment section below. See you guys next time. Bye.